we say, God save the King.
My Lords, I begin, in accordance with the custom of my religious tradition, with an acknowledgement that as mortal humans we submit to God's decree, and that from his judgment, whether that be for life or for death, there is no appeal. Baruch Dayan Ha'emet, blessed be the judge of truth. And as I say that blessing, I am taken to the last time I met Her Majesty, and I recited a different and special blessing, the blessing our rabbis prescribed to be said when meeting royalty. Baruch Shenatan Michvodo Lebasar Vadam. Blessed is he who has shared his glory with mortals of flesh and blood. And my Lords, the idea in that blessing is not the divine right of kings. It is not the absolutist notion that because monarchs derive their power from God, they cannot be held accountable for their actions. The blessing embodies a totally different idea, but it's a powerful one. It's the idea, as the Talmud puts it, that royalty on earth is to reflect royalty in heaven, that to be royal requires the highest standards and impeccable behaviour. And it's an idea, I suggest, that Her late Majesty exemplified throughout her long reign. Noble Lords might be familiar with the Hebrew word mitzvah. Well done for doing this or that, you might hear somebody say, and then they'll add, you've done a mitzvah. You've done a good deed. But, my Lords, a mitzvah is not a good deed which you do because you're in the mood or because the urge takes you. A mitzvah isn't something you do only and if you feel like it. The Hebrew root of the word mitzvah, its basic etymology, is the word tzav. And tzav means commandment or order or duty. You do a mitzvah not just because it's a good deed, and not just because you feel like doing it. You do a mitzvah because it's your duty. Her late Majesty spent her whole life doing the right thing, and not just because she felt like it or because the mood took her. She spent her 96 years doing the right thing day in and day out of a sense of duty. It was a life, if I may respectfully say, of mitzvah, of acting out of a profound sense of personal duty and under the solemn oath to God which she took at her coronation. Now, in Hebrew, every letter also has a numerical value, and you can add up the values of individual letters to get the value of a word. And in one of those coincidences, which perhaps are not, the value, the numerical value of the Hebrew word tzav, the root of the word mitzvah, is 96. 96 years of tzav, of duty, and also of mitzvah, of doing the right thing, because that is your duty. My Lords, tomorrow is Shabbat, and as we've heard from my noble friend Lord Pollock, in synagogues up and down the country we will say the prayer for the royal family as we do each and every week. We recite that prayer immediately after the reading of the Torah, the 5 books of the Pentateuch from Genesis to Deuteronomy, which we read in weekly instalments throughout the year. We're well into Deuteronomy at the moment, and so the current annual cycle is nearly complete. But on the day that we finish Deuteronomy, we do something odd but important. We return to the Holy Ark, the scroll with which we completed Deuteronomy, but we immediately take out a new scroll and start reading again from the first chapter of Genesis. So on that day, the death of Moses, the faithful leader who had guided the people over so many decades, is immediately followed, a matter of moments later, by a new start, indeed a new creation, in the first chapter of Genesis. And so tomorrow, for the first time in my life, we will not pray in synagogue for Prince Charles, but for King Charles. I started yesterday as a Queen's Counsel, and I finished it as a King's Counsel. We've closed one book, a long and good book, which we've had with us for so many years, and we are about to open another. And as we all pray that God save our King, I will also pray that he too may enjoy a reign of mitzvah, of doing the right thing, for that now is his duty. Baruch Dayan Ha'emet, Yehei Zichra Baruch. Blessed be the Judge of Truth, and may her late Majesty's cherished memory be a blessing for all of us.